Thank you so much, Lottie. Really do appreciate that. And oh my gosh, elimination bracket finals. Sentinels going up against FaZe. You got LethuL trying to go at his former teammates once again. You got FaZe trying to go back to back to back on land. Salt Lake City, are you ready? I'm ready too.
They are absolutely ready for this matchup. Like I said, prior to this weekend, if you asked me about these two teams facing off, who would come out ahead, my answer would be FaZe. However, Sentinels have proven again and again that they belong here at Elimination Finals, if not the finals, and they need to bounce back after that last loss against Space Station Gaming. We're kicking off here on Argyle CTF. One thing to note here on Argyle CTF, the one time that Sentinels have played this so far this weekend against Shopify Rebellion, they have gone 3 for 3 on flagpoles. So they seem to be very consistent as far as once they get the flag out of the base, they're able to escort it back and capture it.
And they're going to need that objective efficiency when you're going up against FaZe, because FaZe are still undefeated here on Capture the Flag this weekend. It starts here on Argyle, game number 1.
And oh my god, a pick off right off the bat. Falcated takes out SnakeBite and Frosty going down. So that's 2 kills going in favor of Sentinels. And the push is already going down. Bubu dubu already in the front of FaZe's base.
And Renegade getting contested over towards the vent side and dealt with quickly as Sentinels once again gained that advantage, and Falcated gonna get himself what I thought was an easy kill, but SnakeBite, he's never an easy one.
What a turnaround out pistol from SnakeBite. Falcated getting first shot, but SnakeBite more importantly getting the last shot. That's 2 down apiece. Spartan holding down vent, but they do not have the control needed on the map, so we're back to a neutral territory.
I talked about this yesterday. Sparty sneakily beating one of the best snipers in the game, especially on Argyle, but drops that sniper and looks like Renegade gonna pick it right back up. He's gonna be contested once again on the vent side, but smartly gonna back down, play his life, catch a new angle, get the player down to one shot, grapples right in, and almost lines up the first, gets him the second time, a double for the Demon as he moves his flag forward. Oh my God.
Slaying an objective. What can't this Renegade do? Helping his team get this first pull, and I do not know if they're in any position to stop this. LethuL, the furthest one up here for Sentinels, and that flag is just going to continue running.
Double kill out of Renegade, gets the third one, then passes that flag over towards SnakeBite, knowing that he's one shot. That is perfect communication, small talk, and teamwork that leads to FaZe putting the first flag cap on the board. Back over towards SnakeBite, we see QT coming up.
That's the danger in some of those tumultuous situations, is if you're able to snag those slays and grab the objective right away, those players respawning are going to be of no effect during that flag run. So huge heads up play from Renegade to get those slays and continue to press forward.
Thought SnakeBite was going to be able to get away with that sniper. Not going to happen, but Renegade in the base of Sentinels, and their sniper is right in front of him. Portal and sniper is a big combination, especially as FaZe momentary 4v2. He's going to be able to start this run, but Sentinels, they're spawning up quickly.
Yeah, Sentinels pulled the flag. They're not going to keep their 100% record here with flag pulls to flag caps. And Renegade has something else on his mind. He wants to be on the offensive and just grab a flag in return.
Starts that flagpole to be a little bit of a decoy. Then Renegade bounces right back over toward the 50. Eventually, Sentinels get the return, but Renegade sitting up high. Sniper in hands, and he has 7 bullets to work with still.
And look at this game just slow down to a halt. Here comes the setup here from Sentinels. They set a trap over in the center. They pick off Frosty. And I believe that's LethuL pushing for the flag same time. If Sentinels are able to secure these last couple kills, they can move this flag across the map. Brilliantly played here by Sentinels, but the slays have not come in. And with Renegade and a sniper across the map, you have to stop and shoot.
Sentinels moving that flag forward. They needed Renegade to hit a shot with that sniper. It looks like it's not going to happen, but here comes Frosty, seemingly out of nowhere. Easy kills come for FaZe. The return once again, that was almost dangerous for FaZe.
Yeah, if Sentinels were able to secure one kill a little bit faster, somehow putting that pressure on Renegade a little bit quicker, that flag certainly would have been moving across the map, but FaZe cleanly be able to get that back to their base. So there's just a lot of these crazy traps being set from both sides. It paused to a halt, and then as soon as one kill happens, both teams are sprinting for the opposing flag.
And bubu dubu coming in quick. Damage with the sidekick. BR as well, but can't quite find the kills. Luckily, Sentinels pick up. LethuL running that flag forward, almost able to slingshot it. Gonna actually go back down to one shot. Looks like he is able to turn the corner. Sentinels might be able to tie this up, but LethuL's down to one.
Yeah, second time or third time here, we're seeing that Sentinels, as soon as they get a kill, they're grabbing the flag right away, and that's going to be a tie game here. Sentinels putting the first flag in.
Big cap coming out of Sentinels to tie things up, but you still have 7.5 minutes worth of gameplay. Bubu dubu almost finding that angle with the sniper. Roach said, you know what? I'm going to take a little bit of a different angle.
Look at this, slowing back down. Falcated gonna translocate onto the opposite side of the map, pick off Renegade. And historically, we've seen this first kill really spur into a chaotic moment, but Royal 2 just holding down the elbow with a snipe is gonna put a stop to any Sentinel push.
It's a bubu dubu going up against Royal 2 with sniper in hands, and either one of them looking for that counter snipe opportunity. Bubu dubu has control of his pistol side. His teammate in Falcated gets back smacked, and that gives FaZe the advantage. But bubu dubu with the quick scope lines it up against SnakeBite. The BR gets the finish. Bubu dubu stabilizing the situation, and that's a killing spree for him.
Great killing spree there. Must have read the situation, knowing someone jumps across top center or grappled on up into his vent. This is going to be the point of contention here for Sentinels right now. They have to clear out their vent and get this top control, or they need to push across the map to make sure they don't get trapped in their own base.
And now bubu dubu getting a little bit of a sneaky angle over toward the bottom mid side. He has Sparty over toward the pistol, and that's a smooth body shot coming up from him, and Sparty able to switch right back out.
And here it goes again. 2 going down for FaZe, and Sentinels immediately in the flagpole before a first spawn happens. Renegade, the first spawner, somehow gets the pick on bubu as he spawns over elbow. I know Sniper popped up as well, so I'm not sure what FaZe are going to do with the snipe, but it should be relatively safe since that flag did not get out too far.
Quantum Translocator coming up as well as Renegade. Thought it was in a 1v1, but he has that teamwork coming in. They're able to collapse quickly over towards the mid-side. Half the members of Sentinels are down. Bubu dubu is going to join him after Renegade getting the piv against his former teammate.
Here we see Renegade taking over this vent. Quantum Translocator popping up. He lives and grabs it. Now, how does he decide to play this? Jumps on in towards bomb center. In short, these players are going to try to separate from that teleport location so that they can go back, and that is going to be shut down there from Falcated before that equipment can be utilized.
Renegade ends up going down, but Frosty is still forward here for FaZe. Long-range shots connecting onto LethuL, and woo! That's a marksman medal coming out of one of the best marksmen in the game.
Yeah, back to neutral territory. Looks like Frosty's Royal 2 is trying to run the sniper back, and they're just gonna sit and post up for a little bit to see who overextends from Sentinels. One thing that's been good for Sentinels, though, as they've navigated across the map here in Argyle, they aren't just flying across the center of the map, Bramley. They're taking very cautious routes along the sides until they have that numbers advantage. So even though they sometimes get that sniper posted up, sometimes they're just not finding the targets. And even when they do, they're going to outshoot you anyways, like Falcated did against Frosty.
And that patience is working so well for Sentinels. They've been getting that advantage they've been looking for left and right, and now Falcated has a hold of the sniper. SnakeBite right in his line of sight, and now SnakeBite forced to hide in that corner. Falcated not gonna let him get away that easily, hunts him down, and now tries to get out with his life.
That kill was just a little too tasty. Not gonna let that player get full shield back. A little surprising you didn't see a ping there in that exact corner. Probably just called out that exact spot where SnakeBite was at and realized no one else is going to finish it, so Falcated had to finish the job himself.
And with the game tied at 1 apiece and Renegade with the sniper, I would love to hop on board with the listening with FaZe. Both teams looking for that next cap.
One hit on my
He is grapple. They're shotty. Two shotty.
Yo, PJ, I'm going to our flag to shoot. I'm going to our flag. They haven't grabbed our caution. They're pulling on me. Two on me.
We're spawning.
One hit on me.
PJ.
I got good shots too. Another one.
I kill him window.
There's someone on me. Someone on the elbow.
Last guy.
Yo, I'm leaving Connor.
Let's get up on the map a little bit more here. Yeah.
I'm going kind of fucking rogue here.
Yeah, I like that. Let's get more here.
Party
guys. I don't think he ever did.
We never killed him. He was crouching right side.
You clear Brad.
Yo, they love playing.
Yeah, they're PCs. I'm jumping for him.
I killed their PCs. That's not Sparty though. Not Sparty. Yo, Matt, you have gaps open, okay?
Yo, our caution.
Yeah, that might be Sparty.
I'm here.
He's here sniping that sniper. Sniper's weak on mid, John. They're from base.
I'm just gonna see your
One might be a shot. Matt, yeah, hear you, Matt? I'm one hit. Pushing out for you. Pushing out for you.
What's up, PJ?
Nice, John. Good win.
Basically, PJ, flanking you, PJ.
Sparty ramp.
Watch out the bridge. Watch out the bridge.
That's not him. They're window.
Nice, PJ. Two that guys.
Yeah,
There's snipers.
They're low elbow.
They're sniping up on the map.
Yes. You can play. You can play.
Other base. Are you?
I'm looking.
Can you come shotty on me? Yeah, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to get to you, PJ.
I have your window. Play for a while.
They're barrels. Yeah, I'm Mendo. I have all your cross, okay? I'm Mendo.
We're done.
I can kill the guy. Where is he? Barrels and PCs.
Watch out barrels.
PCs one hit. PCs one hit.
Do you want just the barrels? Do you want just the barrels?
Not good. Not good.
You're good.
And throughout that listening, and throughout that position from SnakeBite, you saw quite a difference in strategy. One, you heard Frosty calling out how Sentinels are traditionally playing this map. Secondly, you heard them call out the last member from Sentinel saying, where is Sparty? They know that things are too good to be true when they're not seeing one of these players flanking around. So they are not relaxed until they find that hidden member. Once they spot Sparty out, they knew they no longer had to worry about the back of their base. They're slowly sweeping through the rest of the map. The third takeaway from there was SnakeBite's position. You noticed that once SnakeBite was in the opposing base, he didn't go for a grab right away. He was going for rounds of slaying, trying to find where Sparty was at. They wanted to do a more methodical flag run compared to Sentinels. Sentinels get a kill or two, and they're flying right in the flag.
And it's that communication and teamwork that leads to another 3 down for Sentinels and a QT grab for Renegade. FaZe already had the advantage, and now they're starting to pressure Sentinels here. Luckily, Falcated with the off-screen kill to kind of alleviate that pressure just a little bit, but Renegade, he's still sitting at the height advantage.
Yeah, and just sweeping around this map, trying to see where these members of Sentinels are coming from. I like this play from Renegade, still pushing towards the flag rather than just trying to consistently be on defense. And here he goes. He goes in for the back push, meets too much resistance, and teleports on out to the top center to lay down shots.
And he's not able to portal back over toward the flanking angle because that QT runs out of time. So now he's at the hightail it into the base over toward the pistol side, and Sentinels anticipating this push well. You see 2 members of Sentinels starting to push them back. Renegade forced to back down over toward the control side, but a stray grenade gives him the advantage he needs.
And look at that, just buying time. Royal 2 comes in to clear out Falcated, and the damage has been done. That's 3 down. Bubu dubu, the last one remaining. We're not going to hear FaZe calling this out right now, but you know that they are going to call out exactly where Bubu is or if he's missing. So since Renegade spot out Bubu there, no longer a FaZe worried about their backs and the back of their flag. They know where the last member is and how far a new spawner could push up to.
Less than 30 seconds on the clock here. A pull can force the sudden death, but the back onto Renegade, that's going to stop any push for FaZe. Now Sentinels, if they happen to get the slays at the right time, maybe they can get a pull, and that's a no-scope coming out of bubu dubu right as LethuL was starting to push in.
Yeah, and this is actually a good spot for Sentinels pull this. They got 3 down. Renegade, the last one alive. LethuL is not going to hesitate. Gets the flag pushed on out. Falcated buying time, but Bubu needs to start moving this across the map. He does. He decides to repulse it in front of him. Cannot get the challenge on the flag, and that's going to slowly tick down. LethuL, last one remaining. That flag's going to be done for.
The pull was good enough to start the sudden death, but you had to get the follow-up kills with it, and FaZe's objective defense comes in. We got an overtime here.
And keep in mind how these 2 teams have been playing out this flag match thus far. Sentinels, on one hand, as soon as they get a kill, 0 hesitation, fly across, killing other members, and grab the flag. FaZe, on the other hand, they like to get a bit more control. They're not going to leave things up to chance. They don't want to put themselves in a chaotic situation. Instead, they want to get kill after kill, find where players are at, and then take the flag along the safest route. Let's see which play style ends up better.
FaZe have no problem getting kill heavy here, and with them putting Sentinels 2 down, bubu dubu answers right back. Yes, one more battle has to go through. Oh, not a 1v1, it's a 1v2. Sentinels getting the help they're looking for, and bubu dubu still has plenty of time with the portal.
Yeah, Bubu still has the port, still spotting all these players. Catches SnakeBite a little off guard here. Gonna get some help from Falcated, and there's the first entry kill that Sentinels need to push into this flag. Just like we stated before, they're getting a kill or 2, and they're going straight for that flag. It's still a 2v2 situation. Bubu moving the flag all across computers, meeting some resistance from Royal 2. That's one of the downsides of the strategy sometimes. You don't have the guaranteed clear routes. But Sentinels enjoy some of that chaos. They feel like they can win some of those battles. And this flag is still alive. Royal 2 trying to get it back safely to his base.
The off angles from Sentinels and the flanking routes, almost able to get that flag past the 50, but once again, FaZe stop it short and get the return. But once again, a well-placed grenade deals with another member of FaZe as Sentinels momentarily get the advantage. SnakeBite gets his shields back.
Yeah, SnakeBite having to get his shields back, but then secondly, even just crouching and watching his flag saying, hey, I've seen this play out before. As soon as one or two of us drop, they are flying in our plat and trying to see if you can catch any unsuspecting member of Sentinels going right for his flag.
SnakeBite might be in trouble here. Sparty, not too long ago, got the double kill that left FaZe on staggered spawns, and once again, SnakeBite down to one shot, trying to desperately get his shields back. Frosty takes down bubu dubu. SnakeBite now gonna advance forward. Sparty off the spawn, gets himself a sniper. Can't quite find the hit, but SnakeBite gonna turn quickly onto LethuL. Not able to get that flagpole, but Sentinels 3 down. FaZe still have an opportunity to push up.
Yeah, FaZe aren't gonna hesitate here. They know the last member alive is in the back of the base, and so they're taking up much ground, and then here they're gonna force Sentinels to try to push out one by one and pick them off. Surprise FaZe didn't get up a little further. Feels like Sentinels were able to take up more ground than they should be able to off the spawn.
Two members of FaZe over towards Sentinel's pistol side. SnakeBite, that forward player, and you even have Renegade and Royal 2 on the opposite side. FaZe are taking up a lot of space on the map.
Yeah, taking up a lot of space, but not able to spot out these members. They're in these top power positions, you're just waiting for Sentinels to reveal themselves. As soon as they reveal, that's 3 down. LethuL, the last one alive. What can he do? He's gonna die and join his teammates in the respawn screen. This is gonna be a flagpole from Renegade. What can bubu do from the back of the flag?
4 down in favor of FaZe, but the flag was pulled a bit late, so they're gonna have to slay again, which you know FaZe have no problem doing. Royal 2 taking down bubu dubu, but Royal 2 gets cleaned up as well. Frosty with the body shot is enough to put Sentinels 3 down once again. This flag has to start moving forward.
They got the kills, but they're not getting the distance for that objective. 1v1, bubu versus Frosty lays down a couple of grenades, and that flag is back home safely. All those slays for nothing. They still have another chance to grab this flag again, but great defense from Sentinels to pick off the crucial members. Here comes another slay or two from Royal 2 and SnakeBite over at the Sentinels flag, but the flag is not moving.
Sentinels just keep spawning so close to that flag, and they're able to slow down FaZe at every given turn. But you have to imagine a 4 down into a 3 down. Eventually, this flag has to start going forward for FaZe. Otherwise, Sentinels, they're going to counter eventually.
Well, that's the problem. Once you're on defense at your base, if you can go 1 for 1, in theory, the hypothesis is that you can trade kill for kill, and your reinforcements are going to be there faster because they spawn closer to your base. So this is a situation that, even though FaZe were outslaying, 3-2, 4-3, 4-2, it didn't matter because Sentinels just had more reinforcements. They were fine to trade out as long as they were getting a kill here or there. When they were going all 4 down without any kills in return, that's where they would be in trouble.
Falcated with the sniper could be the difference maker. The Sentinels need to finally convert this defense into some offense here. Off screen, we do see trade out in live, so another 3v3. Next battle could be so important, especially a sneaky angle by Falcated. You got 6 bullets in the chamber. What are you gonna do with it?
I mean, at this point, if they don't have the kills and guarantee, I feel like they're gonna wait this one out and go for that full replay. So we're gonna see how this one decides to play out. Looks like a fight here. Looks like maybe a last second push. We do have Sentinels getting a flagpole. This is dangerous because in a situation like this where you overextend, you could set up FaZe for a counter pull of their own. Royal 2 pushing into the enemy flag to see if we can get a pull. But too little, too late. We are going to a reset.
All 4 members of Sentinels get wiped right there, and there was just one member of FaZe
Royal
that was
was
in the
close.
base. Oh my God, because the sudden death would have carried over. FaZe would have started that flag. It would have had a sudden death in favor of FaZe, but either way, overtime, no cap. Now we get to see a double overtime. Next cap will win it here on Argyle. This game number 1 decides momentum in the series. You know both of these teams want it so bad.
Yeah, both these teams want so bad. FaZe have to be kicking themselves a little bit during that first overtime. They had so many rounds of slays over in the Sentinels base. They weren't able to transition that into any flag distance. It's okay to take a pause here and there and get slays. But in theory, or the rule of thumb, is that you need to get slays and get that flag at least towards halfway across the map. That way, any of your spawners can be in the picture. They can finish the run. They can help become part of the fight. Whereas FaZe, they just went for too many rounds of slays. They just didn't know the answer to clearing out the back of the base or the elbow.
Yeah, FaZe, we talked about them being undefeated and captured a flag here this weekend, but largely that's been behind their firepower. They're just outslaying everyone left and right, but eventually you try to see a little bit more efficiency. One cap can determine, especially here on Argyle, and actually in double overtime, it will decide.
Absolutely. And so, yeah, we're going to see once again, can FaZe get the outslaying like they have been and translate it into a capture like we saw in the very first round of this? Or is it going to be Sentinels going for another scrappy cap? They're going to get a kill or two. They're going to fly across, and they're going to start moving that flag. Even if they don't know that lane is fully clear, they will start moving it.
And I'm glad we have Sentinels on screen, and we saw it because one player that really impressed me was bubu. 24 kills and 16 assists. And that wasn't even by the time the game was done. He was really not only slaying out, but also getting the assist as well on top of that. They're going to need that type of performance, the Sentinels, if they're going to beat out FaZe.
Look at this, a bit more of an aggressive start here for FaZe. Before, when they would be sitting over towards vent or center of the map and slaying, they would wait for those first moments to push across, and now they're not hesitating. They're taking some learnings from these first couple rounds. Royal 2 sitting as the anchor, getting these snipes.
Royal 2 with the sniper. Meanwhile, for screen, the leading Slayer and Renegade does end up going down. Royal 2 immediately takes this sniper towards the height. Beautiful shot over to vent side. He's not done as he body shots bubu dubu as well and claims control over toward the top mid side. There's Royal 2. Eventually his kill does end up getting cleaned up, and FaZe have a momentary advantage here.
And look at this, total vent control, doing such a good job here for FaZe. Now, can they convert it into a couple more kills and then a pull? Look at this, Sparty already going for the flank. Not just Sparty though, he has one of his teammates. That's gonna be 2 members dropping. What was a FaZe full control across top now is turning into all 4 FaZe members dead, and Sentinels moving this flag across the map. Spartan gonna try to flank these members all the way over on FaZe's left side.
This boy Sparty got that dog in him. You saw the grapple quick scope earlier, and now he's making sure that nobody crosses the 50 to stop this flag from going in. That flag is already towards the base. Bubu Dubu's gonna push it in. Sentinels handing FaZe their first loss here on Capture the Flag.
Zero hesitations on grabbing that flag as soon as they got the kills. You give them a little opening. It's gonna sprint on out with that flag. Well played by Sentinels there. They didn't need to outslay the rest of the game. They needed to outslay in moments and take advantage of it, and they capitalized right away. Rather than sitting back at their own base when they had a choice in playing defense, Sentinels, they decided to fight with offense. They decided to flank out. They caught Royal 2 off guard. Royal 2 was supposed to be the furthest one back and the safest member with a sniper. And all of a sudden, he had Spartan and Falcated shooting him in the side. That's not supposed to happen when we have a strong setup, especially someone like FaZe, who have some of the strongest full setups in the world.
And if you're on real Royal 2 side, like how could you expect Sparty to just fly in with the grapple, get the quick scope to allow them to get those easy kills, and then continue that with the fly? Then he grapples over toward the mid-map after FaZe go forward down, so nobody can pass. Sparty definitely the playmaker in that game number 1, and man, we know Spartan, he gets loud, he gets passionate, and that momentum carries over. Game 2, FaZe, you better ice that boy.
Taking a look at these top slayers from both sides, we got Frosty with a 1.41 KD and his former teammate LethuL with a 1.08 KD. But as we saw during that last game, kills, they matter in Slayer. But what matters in objective is, are you doing something with those kills? Are you taking up a better position? Are you moving that objective? And we know Sentinels are.
So excited to see Solitude be a little bit of a change of pace for both of these teams. You know, it's still the newest map here in the HCS, so gonna be a little bit of a change of pace for both of them, but it's still FaZe that are literally one of the best teams in the league when it comes to Slayer.
One other takeaway that I have from that stat breakdown from both these players at Slayers here in Salt Lake City is that Frosty, clearly a much better KD, you know, 1.41 compared to 1.08. However, when you looked in the damage column, LethuL had more damage, meaning he is putting down more shots and doing more damage across the map that likely his teammates are taking advantage of. So we're gonna have to see which one prevails here on Slayer Solitude. Is it going to be cleaning up your own kills? Or is it going to be laying down shots across the map and enabling your teammates to go off?
All of these players on screen have had plenty of time playing the first iteration of this map in Plaza back in Halo 5, but that quantum translocator, that is new. That literally just came out here. Who are you most excited to see with that QT in their hands? Who can make some of them game-changing plays?
That one's tough to say. I mean, all 8 players vying for that equipment. If anyone, I gotta say, like, Falcated's been kind of under the radar. You know, he went from being kind of the supporting cast member here on Sentinels, always such a strong player, to being, oh wow, he has the highest KD ratio of anyone in Salt Lake City. So let's put him in the spotlight for a moment. You've earned it. Let's see what Falcated can do here on Slayer Solitude, and what can he do if he grabs that equipment.
Yeah, I stopped calling Falcated the most underrated player in the game because now he's on everyone's radar. Everybody knows he's one of the best slayers here in Halo Infinite, and then you combine him with Sparty as well. Sentinels are a dangerous team. FaZe, you're on your back foot. How are you going to tie things up?
Well, on their back foot, and they're going to sprint out off the start and see which positions both these teams are going to take. Quite a bit of a slower start here from Sentinels. I'm used to the squad getting ready for flanks, pushing their advantage, trying to force some action, but you see them kind of being a bit more reactionary off the start. You see Falcated not making his own play towards planters, trying to assist his teammates here in bottom, middle, and driveway. Let's see if it pays off, but that's going to be 2 kills for FaZe. Obviously, Sniper going to be the main point of contention here.
Yeah, it's obvious to me that FaZe immediately prioritizing that sniper and getting over towards that nest control. You're seeing Falcated doing everything he can to try to stay alive over toward the mid side, but now his teammates are dropping left and right. And the good news, he gets to join them.
Frosty also just knowing these perfect angles. You heard that nade banking right near, you saw it right near Falcated, but we had no idea where it's coming from. I almost felt like that nade was coming from Loop or something, but Frosty still having snipe. Must have been like S4, pushing over towards Truck to get that final finish onto Falcated. Now let's see who does snipe.
Ooh.
Picks a new angle.
Oh,
About to check into the hotel and decide, nah, let me go check out the snipe area again. Keep this high advantage. Really worried here about these posters and these stairs. Wanting to make sure they don't get any sort of angle. Frosty decides to push out. Realizing too many players are cramping his style over at snipe and wants to, instead of waiting for the action to come to him, he's going to bring the firepower to Sentinels.
a killing spree to start off the game for Frosty, and the boy hasn't died one time yet, even having a sister go along with it as Frosty taking down to the low ground. It's an 11-8 lead in favor of FaZe, but you see 3 members of Sentinels breaking through the yard side. Frosty luckily gonna duck that situation. It looks like Sentinels aren't aware of it just yet, but with that kill onto bubu dubu, they find out.
Frosty found the action, and that action just rotated over towards the rest of his teammates. So Frosty doing a great job staying alive, but non-stop pressure from Sentinels, and also decisive decisions being made. They are just not contemplating or hesitating. They're saying, all right, we see this person over here towards driveway. Let's leave that person. Let's go towards LR and charge the rest of the FaZe members.
And it was eventually FaZe that ended up going 3 down, but somehow Frosty stays alive and waits for his teammates to come off and spawn. And now that all members of FaZe are up, they start to get aggressive, but Sentinels answer right back. Finally, Frosty goes down, but still a 3-kill game in favor of the boys in red.
3-kill game, but consider also FaZe, they had that entire sniper rifle. We did not see that touch the hands of Sentinels here. Now that Sentinels have control of the snipe side of the map, what are they going to be able to do with this weapon in 15 seconds? It feels like they almost don't care. This is actually a bit surprising. I'm all for aggression from time to time, but they're leaving the snipe side of the map and just charging to try to find battles against FaZe.
This is now the second time that we see Sentinels make a 3-man push over towards the flower side. Will it pay off as SnakeBite looking to combat evolve that sniper over towards Poster, but the nades are now coming right back at him. Never able to grab a hold of that sniper, but neither are Sentinels.
Yeah, not able to get that weapon. Now these next slaves are going to decide who gets that sniper rifle. Bubu and crew trying to battle or back away SnakeBite. SnakeBite's going to snag that, run away through loop, and this is a sniper that almost certainly was going to go in the favor of Sentinels. However, Sentinels pushed out a little too hard. It felt like they tried to force a little too much action. Now, albeit SnakeBite is not in a safe spot yet. He has to hit no scopes, and the pressure's on. Renegade, the last one alive. Spartan has the sniper.
SnakeBite was able to combat evolve that sniper towards him, but once he goes down, Sparty gets a hold of it, and now You see one more member of FaZe over toward the driveway side, and now Renegade is starting to move into position. Sparty not quite aware of it just yet, but he's taking a low route, concealing his presence, and then planting one right onto the head of Frosty.
What a challenge right there. Most of the times you're seeing your snipers post up way behind, making sure that you keep your safety as the most important piece, but Spartan just trying to find some fights. Tries to take out Royal 2 with the truck, not successful. Bait and switch coming out of SnakeBite, and Royal 2 just fighting for the lives against Sentinels.
Royal 2 down to one shot, he's taking cover, and SnakeBite, that forward player ends up going down, and Royal 2 joins him. So now momentary 4v2 for Sentinels as they take map control. They also take the life of Renegade, find the spawning player in Frosty. Sentinels starting to look good as they take the lead.
Yeah, taking the lead here, and I wouldn't say it's because they're sitting back with Snipe. It feels like aggression is the only page in their playbook. I don't see the other chapters in this playbook here, Tony. They just want to always force the action when they have the chance. So right here, setting up, slowing it down, setting up a trap. We're going to see how FaZe decide to react here.
It's might have been a hidden chapter in the book. Finally, we see them slow the game down, and bubu dubu holding on to that snipe side of the map. We see two members of FaZe start to move into position, but Frosty, the first one to go down. You said it before, you give Sentinels any kind of advantage, they're going to play through it. Sparty flies in, but ends up giving up his life. Bubu dubu can't quite find the angle he's looking for. Here it is.
And a slow finish there for Bubu. He knows that other players are around him. SnakeBite decided to run away from the yard. Both players decided to back down. And once again, one kill lead here for Sentinels, but they have control of the center of the map. Quantum Translocator spawning up in 15. Also Snipe coming up soon.
Still a one-kill game, make it two at the Sparty, takes down one. Roar 2 being left by himself over toward the blue side and not able to get away. QT coming up, bubu dubu starting to push in. Sparty's also over toward the cafe side. Once again, Sparty goes down, but bubu dubu still gets away with the transporter.
Yep, got the Quantum Translocator. Somehow Snipe still not picked up after it's been up for 10 or 11 seconds. This is a bit surprising here from Sentinels. Obviously, these top pros, they know how to time these power weapons. However, it feels like they are favoring to get aggressive, take up more ground rather than grabbing that weapon as soon as it spawns. And because of it, feels like they're being punished sometimes. I feel like Sentinels are doing the tough part, which is get control of the crucial parts of the map. And they aren't reaping all the benefits of that. They aren't just sitting and grabbing that snipe as soon as it pops. They aren't able to slow it down. You've seen that FaZe are being much more reactionary. Punish them for that. That's what Sentinels need to do in positions like this.
Only a one-kill game as we start to slowly approach the end game. I want to hop into a listening with Sentinels. Sparty with the sniper. How are they getting another advantage here on the map?
Yeah, weak silo or something.
Yes,
Still
yes.
solid.
Nice.
Pushing up TJ.
Left side.
Mike. You might go one shot. There's 1 yard maybe.
One.
They might spawn sniper
Any
yard.
snipe out?
Either sniper yard spawn.
No, it was
one
one
bullet,
bullet.
one shot.
Nice.
One shot yard.
I'm
Plus you
looking.
one shot. Out there. There's one snipe.
Corner, hard in the
Okay,
corner.
that's
Flowers,
all
flowers.
And nest lift.
Shot flowers, flower door.
Up nest, one
Shot flower
shot.
door. He got away yard, cut him yard.
Let's ramble one shot.
Let's go.
Let's go benches together.
I'm coming, Jesse.
S4 right now.
S4 now.
S4 and blue window cross.
I'm getting shot from blue window.
One tram. I can watch S4.
They call this
Yeah,
out.
one shot S4. He fell blue truck. One shot nest ramp. Can't get him. He's gonna go left.
Yeah, they're
I
gonna
got
watch
him, I
over.
got him.
Nice, that was him. That was him.
All right, Nuke.
I'm at lift. I'm at
Yo,
lift.
another guy snipe ramp. One.
Yeah.
I'm here,
Watch out, me and
Frosty.
Frosty.
Nice.
Watch out on lift, Frosty.
Oh yeah, I'm here,
Hear that?
Jesse, I'm here.
Watch out lift. Watch out lift.
Still one in front, run in front. I'm hitting his front.
Watch out front somewhere. Frosty, watch out front.
Under us, yeah.
Nice job. Repulse up, repulse
All
up.
right, yo, I left tram. I'm pushing
Pushing
blue.
blue, yeah, pushing blue.
Yo, top
I'm
yellow,
yellow.
top yellow's on me.
Oh, left side.
He's one.
I'm in blue.
Just perfectly coordinated there by Sentinels. They see a push coming from FaZe, and they have all the answers. Getting those players trapped down low at truck, at lift, going to kill them at their own leisure. They knew that players were, at some points, anchored across the map over near window, and they just ignored those angles. One thing that Sentinels do so good during their pushes is they block off a certain angle that FaZe have and just isolate the other members and use a numbers advantage to out-BR and outshoot the players.
Sentinels handed FaZe one of their only losses on Slayer, and now with the lead, 7 kills away from ultimately taking this game number 2. Sentinels have the opportunity to do it once again, but SnakeBite Renegade and World 2 starting to push up over to the tram side. Renegade takes down Falcated. World 2 trades out his life. You're still only 3 kills away, but Sentinels are so close to that 50 kill mark.
And SnakeBite fighting for his life bomb center here. You know he's being called out by these Sentinels members. Bubu and Sparty both living with one shot down low. And it's just a battle in the bomb center. Sentinels pleased to trade kills here. They will happily trade kills, but this can be a nightmare scenario. New sniper popping up. And Sentinels nowhere near it. Frosty has his hands, has the game in his hands. He needs one pick to get to safety. Gets the shot onto Falcated to stay alive. 2-kill game, but pressure's still on. Somehow takes out Sparty McFly.
FaZe starting to clutch up here as Sentinels go 3 down once again. Now you need to find out where they're spawning. FaZe, they have the advantage. They can end it right here, right now.
Last time we were in a situation like this, FaZe versus Sentinels, 48, or should I say 47-48. We saw a double kill coming out of FaZe, and also a double kill coming out of Sentinels in the form of Sparty McFly. Do Sentinels decide to be the aggressor here and bring the action, or do they decide to try to run out the clock? Too much time, they decide. Sentinels getting aggressive. Here comes the pushes over near hotel ramp. Spartan gets picked off through the window. They know a player's in the hotel, and this 2-kill game is now just 1 away for FaZe.
FaZe looking for that final kill, but it looks like Frosty just ran out of sniper ammo. World 2 still able to take height here. FaZe have taken control of this game, and LethuL is over towards the mid side. If Frosty can spot that out, they can possibly collapse on him, but he quickly takes height. QT's up, but once you grab it, Sentinel they're gonna let the FaZe know exactly where they're at. Bubu Dubu is gonna be chased out of the yard, over towards ledge, and over on the mid side of the map. Bubu Dubu finds the exit, though somehow stays alive.
And Frosty out of the fight for a moment, has to rely on his teammates to be able to secure these. Looks like Sentinels charging around, trying to find any sort of angle. Spartan in the dip. Renegade gonna try to engage that. Decides not to jump out for fear of Bubu and support. And FaZe, they're not making any moves. They find out where some weak players are, but they're not overcommitting. They do not want to fall into a Sentinels trap. There's gonna be no sniper in effect the rest of this game.
They're playing this so cautious right now where FaZe, they know they want to take advantage of a mistake from Sentinels, but they don't want to get baited out.
What?
And World 2's down to 1 shot, ends up going down. That's going to be courtesy of Falcated, and now Falcated with the shot, but Bubu Dubu goes down.
You saw just a desperate, quick push there from Sentinels. They didn't care about the positions. They flew out to the center of the map. They started scurrying on the bottom of the map. FaZe held strong in their power positions. Eventually had that perfect angle. You saw Renegade getting the final kill on Bubu over at top snipe lift.
It was a 50-49 game the last time these two matched up over towards the winner's bracket, and it happens again, but this time it's FaZe that come out the winner, and now the series tied up going into a swing game 3.
That one's a bit of a heartbreaker. I felt that Sentinels were mostly in control after that very initial snipe, Tony, where FaZe were up by a couple kills. You just saw Sentinels take over. They got up by 7 kills. They had positions. But let's take a quick look at the KDs before we break that down further. Sparty, 17-14 with 9 assists. Most kills, most assists. Also a lot of deaths, which is fine. You're securing the other 2.
Yeah, I feel like Sparty was definitely being aggressive, but in most of those engagements, he was taking, like I said, 17 and 14. 6.0 KDA out of him. On the opposite side, you see Raw 2, 16 and 13 out of him. And then, of course, that damage, 5,000 out of Sparty. Somehow wasn't enough to get the win in that one.
Yep, most damage. And then also Raw 2 leading his team damage with just sub 5K. So close. I mean, it doesn't get any closer than 50-49 like that. That is the second 50-49 Slayer that we've seen between these two teams this weekend.
What really surprised me in that matchup, especially going down to the wire, is how cautious FaZe were. There was a couple of times we saw both Bubu Dubu and Sparty out of position, and we thought FaZe would have collapsed on it. So no, hold on. This could be a trap. Let's wait. Let's let the game come to us. Because the moment you try to overextend, you think you have that advantage, is the moment it ends up biting you in the butt. So that patience pays off so well for FaZe as they end that game. And take a look at some of the highlights, man. Frosty with the sniper, this is a dangerous combo.
Like we said, it was a 47-48 end of this game. Almost a recreation of what we saw yesterday. FaZe, however, coming out ahead, snagging these next 2 kills, giving themselves all the room that they needed to close this one out. And look at this push. Despite not having snipers, despite not having weapons, Sentinels just wanted to charge all the way across and force the end here. And look at some of these positions. Such a crucial pick-off there by Frosty to take out Spartan. Oh, there would have been so much more damage there in the window. And here's this crazy, crazy ending as somehow you'll see a couple members of Sentinels flying out in the center of the map, which is kind of a crazy play. When you think the game slows down so much, you don't want to push out in a center, more exposed area. But you'll see these couple of these members jumping across top center, doing some damage here towards snipe side, eventually falling just short right here. Bubu and crew flying across top. No fear. And FaZe just holding their ground, consistently just holding those high up power positions. And look at this, all these members of Sentinels scurrying around, trying to find these finishes. And still, generally when you get one player, one shot in these end games, everyone's eyes are focused on there. But it seems like FaZe have kind of learned what happened in the past. If they focus on the very first threat, they're gonna get flanked. They're gonna get surprised by all these other members. And so FaZe, wisely, not just chasing the very first shiny object in front of them. They're not just gonna chase that very first person that's weak. Look at that, 2 players flying up. Someone that Royal 2 is saying, how am I seeing 2 people flying across top center? And here's the end crucial kill. Renegade picking him off across the map, helping his teammate Frosty to avoid that 50th and final death. What wild aggression we're seeing here from Sentinels, and it's working against the best teams here in the world.
Definitely. I love the fact that we saw the highlights when we saw Bubu Dubu get chased out of the yard. He went up toward the left side, dropped all the way bottom mid, and was able to escape drive well. I was like, okay, well, that's the first time FaZe said, let's play a little cautious. Then you saw LethuL over toward the bottom dip side. He was in a little bit of a vulnerable position. Frosty was looking right at him. I thought they were going to chase him bottom mid. Again, it said, nope, let him get away. This looks like a trap. And it wasn't until they knew they could secure those final 2 kills. That's when FaZe struck. And now this game 3, a little bit of King of the Hill action, a little bit of live fire action. I ain't gonna lie to you, live fire is my favorite map here in the HCS.
We're gonna have to see how they react here. One thing that Sentinels have done consistently well is know when they can fly across, when they have that advantage. They might be one of the best teams, undoubtedly the best team we've seen so far this weekend here at Salt Lake City, as getting that numbers advantage and just flying together. They don't care about taking a longer, more cautious route. Power positions don't matter as long as you have a numbers advantage and you can push out and find those opposing enemies.
Yeah, oftentimes it doesn't like the best strategy, but I feel like what really is the best strategy is the one you're doing together. If you can stack 2 or 3 members and overwhelm the enemy team and get the advantage you're looking for, hey, that works for me. If it works for you, it works for me. Sadly, didn't end up working in that game 2 over towards the end game, but something tells me that King of the Hill live fire might be a little bit different. If Sparty gets a hold of that sniper, he's been on fire all tournament long.
Yeah, he has been playing well, but like I said, I feel like they just need to connect that last little step in their plan. All solitude long, I thought they did a great job being aggressive. However, a couple times they were being aggressive as the snipe was popping up. That's a time where you can force FaZe to be the aggressors, force them to make a move, possibly make a mistake. Instead, felt like Sentinels would just give up their position. They'd give up that weapon, and they would pay the price.
Yeah, there's actually one engagement where we saw Sentinels give up that snipe advantage, and I thought they were going to retract back to it. SnakeBite drops the plasma grenade. That combat evolves the sniper over toward the poster side. Sentinels like, wait, hold on. Where did the sniper go? Eventually, SnakeBite steals it away, and I'm like, okay, well, a little crafty plan. You like it. You've done a thing or two with plasma grenades back in your day. Don't be modest.
Absolutely. So while these players are talking through some final strategies, getting prepped for this game, they know how crucial this one is. Going up 2-1 here in the elimination finals is a much, much better spot to be. You got some room for error. You put the pressure on the opposing team. You no longer have to be the playmakers. You can force them to make mistakes, let their nerves lead them to bad decisions. It all starts here. A lot of these times where we've been able to see FaZe get disoriented on these last couple games from the Sentinels pushes. They've been able to take longer flank routes. not going to be quite the same here in King of the Hill Live Fire. You're not afforded the same sort of amount of flank routes. Everyone's going to be focused on that one objective. No longer do FaZe have to worry about playing offense towards the Sentinels flag and playing defense on their own flag. Instead, they can keep their eyes locked on one prize. Now, is that going to benefit FaZe here? Or do Sentinels have some tricks up their sleeves? Do they know how to play in the outskirts a little more? Do they know how to bait this hill more? Are they still going to be as successful and as aggressive here on Live Fire King of the Hill? Well, we're going to find out, Tony.
In this game, I want to put some pressure on the coaches because, you know, the sniper and over should have a giant timer on their head, and that's going to draw a lot of attention. The hill obviously going to draw a lot of attention, but I think one weapon that maybe goes a bit under the radar is that heat wave. If you don't have that overshield, it can shut it down. If that sniper wants to play long range, you get close range with the heat wave, and that's where the coach is going to be tested to make sure they're always keeping track of it on the map.
Well, here we go, Salt Lake City kicking it off here with Frosty here on a crucial game number 3. FaZe and Sentinels both fighting for their chance to take down SSG in the grand finals, and what a bloodbath we have here over towards the plat. Frosty taking out his old teammate LethuL, has sniper in hand and pressure already going towards this hill.
Frosty with that off the rack turns into a quick 3 down for Sentinels, but it looks like Sentinels end up getting favorable spawns right next to the overshield, and LethuL might have been able to get away with that.
Keep in mind, these two teams battled it out on this game mode. Last time, going in favor of Sentinels 4-2, despite Sentinels being outslaved. But is history a change in here, Tony? They also played Slayer on Solitude in their last series as well, where Sentinels were able to eke out that last kill. Actually, no, they played Recharge last time. I had the wrong stats there.
I think I just saw LethuL get double stuck with that overshield, my gosh! And Frosty is still connecting with the sniper, left and right. Sentinels fighting right back for the green side, but a killing spree out of Frosty clears out the green side of the map here, and FaZe once again take control.
Look at this, Frosty just keeping this power position, forcing Bubu to jump off the map or jump into a BR burst. You can choose your own adventure here when you're going against FaZe. Falcated, stick in here inside the B hill. Remember how last time he went against FaZe, he clutched it up with a triple kill, closing out the 4th and final hill here against FaZe. And now kicking it off right off the bat here with the first one. Trying to stay alive. Look at how difficult of a kill it is to take down Falcated. Just juking left and right against Renegade. They're both hesitant to step a toe out of this hill, but they both know where each other's at. They know the location. And look at this, just coexisting peacefully inside the same hill. We don't have to fight. We can just stay inside and let our teammates fight. We can be buddies.
Gotta love that. Had a little bit of a peace treaty right there, then eventually one step out of that hill for FaZe that eventually leads to a 1-cap advantage for Sentinels, but LethuL over to the tower side by himself. FaZe, if they can get aggressive, they can clear him out and maybe get first progression onto the second hill.
Yeah, a rare symbiotic relationship we just witnessed there inside the Halo Live Fire universe. And LethuL just still looking around for where these players are at, just knowing Royal 2 was right above him, gets the kill, now decides to grab the time. FaZe, nowhere in position to stop this. Frosty has snipe, but he has to go an obscure angle to make this effective, and it's a do or die moment here. Frosty takes the pot shot, decides to back down, does not want to give this weapon on over towards Sentinels. And he's at kind of a crossroads here. Does he go back? Does he get a high ground to push across with a snipe? Does he join his teammates and push right up? And the fight's brought right to him. He's getting some damage, but they can't really translate into the kills they need. And all of a sudden, over 50% of the hill in favor of Sentinels. Sniper, relatively ineffective despite getting damage, despite getting kills. Hill and objective going in the favor of Sentinels.
At one point, Frosty had the sniper for so long this series, I'm questioning whether he spawns with it at this point. But finally, Falcated able to strip it out of his hands, and the BR connects onto Renegade to clear him out. A 2-0 start for Sentinels. And Falcated is moving in position with the sniper, and we see another overshield find the hands of Sen.
Yeah, you look at the kill category, fairly close. Only a 2-kill difference separating these two teams. But you look at the objective category, and it is nowhere near close. 2-0 in favor of Sentinels, just completely outmaneuvering in these objective games. Lucky for Sentinels and Sentinels fans, there are 3 objective games total in the series. If Sentinels can close out this one, they got another objective to back it right up.
We see FaZe with the lead over towards this hill here, but they're still down by 2 caps. Spartan, he wants to find an angle along with Falcated. They're stacking numbers, but thought it was a 2v1. Eventually turned to a 2v2. Sparty goes down. Bubu dubu falls as well. But somehow, all 4 members of FaZe end up getting wiped. Here comes LethuL.
LethuL, the last one to join the fight, last one to join the party in the hill. Able to get that crucial flank on SnakeBite, whether that was a respawn and join the fight immediately, or whether just knowing that he had to lurk on the outskirts of the fight. Look at this, not just sitting inside the hill and scrapping up time, realizing that the kills are the most important once you're going for this garage setup. So wisely decides to back out of the hill and charge in together with his teammates in the tunnel.
2-0 lead for Sentinels as they back up and try to finish out this hill. You just need one more round of slays, but you gotta take it one step at a time. Bubu dubu taking down Renegade, but LethuL falls.
Time is so close. Bubu's gonna try to stick this. It's too close. It looks like no one from FaZe can get their foot in there. That's gonna be 3 hills going in favor of Sentinels. Now they decide to go for the dagger and get that 4th mile hill, or are they gonna go on a slaying spree? Still so much time on the clock, though, Tony. It's hard to say. Can they slay for 3 minutes against FaZe? I mean, they're going to slay right now. Now the decision is, do they step inside the hill? I feel like this hill is one that you can't just bait over and over again. So I would expect them to grab this OS and just try to close out this game and start the clock a little earlier here for FaZe.
Even if they wanted to bait out this hill, I mean, to try to bait it out for 2 minutes and 30 seconds seems unrealistic. So Bubu dubu gets up close and personal, clears out that hill quickly. Now Sparty started to move in position with the sniper, but 2 of his teammates go down, so he tries to fall back. That's a full squad wipe in favor of FaZe.
Yeah, Sparty on the outskirts trying to help his teammates, realizing just a little too many numbers there. And here's the last one alive, tried to run on home, unsuccessful. But Bubu able to clean up that kill damage that Spartan laid down. There's a lot of faith in a team knowing that you don't have to just go for some random stick, some random ninja play in order to get a kill. If you lay down damage, knowing your teammates will take advantage of it, you will consistently do that and set your teammates up for success. That's what Sparty did with that no scope, getting some damage down, and Bubu off his spawn, getting the clear.
It's the fundamentals for Sentinel that's been giving them this dynamic lead, and now he's got to close things out.
Wow.
But he's not able to take down both players out of that hill, and it looks like Sentinel's gonna sweep that game. King of the Hill belongs to Sentinels, and now you're 1 game away from going to the grand final.
Just looking so strong. I kept saying there I was uncertain if Sentinels were going to be able to disorient FaZe as much as they had on other objective games. And I don't know if I'd call it disorientation. I just felt like they held down the hill areas better. Even when Frosty had sniper and the hill was over at A-plat, did not matter. They stepped in the hill when they needed to, forced Frosty to get into a close by angle, backed him down, and scrapped up hill time. When they were over towards garage, one thing that was most impressive is most teams, they would commit to just sitting inside the hill until they're attacked or damaged. Instead, we saw a hill member in the form of LethuL charge all the way through the rat tunnel to help his teammates, sacrificing 5 seconds of time for that control and that setup to close out the rest of the hill. So just a better overall awareness of how to play the numbers advantage and use your teammates together, even if it's at the sacrifice of a short-term objective point. It comes out in the long run. Well played here by Sentinels. Sending a statement here, 4-0. Wasn't close. Slays at some points were close, but that game was not close whatsoever. Sentinels just dominating game number 3 on King of the Hill Live Fire. They're in a great spot, but they still got to close out. We saw they weren't able to close out on Slayer Solitude, losing 50-49. LethuL is a god. Halo 5 on MCC, people are requesting. Got some strong statements out there, but next up, game number 4 is going to be Oddball on Recharge. Can Sentinels continue to work their objective magic? Or are FaZe going to step it up? Are they going to get a little bit of reset, come into this game number 4 and go to another game 5 where they're just known as such a clutch roster?
This could be the final time we see FaZe here in Salt Lake City. Sentinels just one game away from making it into the grand finals phase. Their hopes are going for the 3-peat, might just end here.
2 apiece, but that's going to be Camo going over to Sparty. Let's see how he decides to play this one out. Is he going for the slays, or is he going to try to get that objective? Decides to opt for the slays. Gets the back smack on Royal 2. Saw a grenade over from C. Calling out to his teammates and just letting these players fall into the trap. Backs up Falcated for a short bit. Clears off SnakeBite at the stacks. Meanwhile, all the way across the map, his teammates rotating the ball, but wasn't able to get anywhere. And what a sneaky try to jump over to batteries. Knew that there was some angle over from the Mangler pit. And rather than dancing back and forth in Needler, decides to take a little jump, go over towards that R1 battery. Unsuccessful, but great attempt.
Sentinels playing that early game well, even trying to rotate that ball, but FaZe anticipated. End up getting that ball toward themselves, so a 17-9 run in favor of FaZe. Frosty now with the shock rifle. Teammates are going down left and right. He has to hit the shot, able to do it. Sentinels go 3 down. FaZe are spawning up onto the gold side.
FaZe play ball, and it looks like Renegade has that grapple to get over towards bat ledge. But all these members of FaZe are spread out across the map. Can be nice if you're able to find these members of Sentinels, but Sentinels have done a good job of rotating around and isolating fights. LethuL getting a kill of his own. And here comes the fight, over in control. Ball in the hands of Falcated, scrapping up some time. What can Frosty and crew do to break up this elevator setup? This could be disastrous if Sentinels die over at elevator with this ball and FaZe get all the kills. That's a spot you do not want a team to have a setup, especially a squad like FaZe. Very limited angles to charge into elevator. Less ways to be sneaky for Sentinels if it gets set up there. But it's all up to Frosty. Cam in the hands of bubu. Frosty, last one, elevator, gets taken out. And this is going to be a setup. No! Must have been a spawn over at Pipes there for FaZe. Very fortunate setup there for FaZe to get that one. It was looking like that was going to be an elevator setup here in the form of Sentinels. A little back and forth, but those kills going one way or another. Just so crucial. These teams are so evenly matched.
Bubu with the camouflage behind enemy lines, and it looks like they have no idea. The green gun trying to come out in return for SnakeBite allows bubu to stay alive, and he has 2 members of Sentinels with them over toward the long haul side, and he even has a full setup because there's a player addressing Whirlpool. Easy snatch by bubu.
1-person advantage. I was wondering if Sentinels are going to go charging across the map, try to push that advantage. A little tougher here on recharge. Some areas you can't get to as quickly. Don't have as safer routes. So they opt just to grapple the ball themselves and say, all right, LethuL's out. Let's go back to playing.
24 to 22 lead for Sentinels. Bubu down to 1 shot, and finally that day gonna take him down. In fact, Royal 2 was able to get the stick, so 2 down go Sentinels, and Royal 2 with some beautiful long-range shots. You have 2 players that are 1 shot in front of you. Finally, one of them ends up going down. Sparty repulses to try to take height, but eventually 2 down go Sentinels, and Royal 2 might be able to get the shot with the grapple. Sentinels, watch your head.
Royal 2 already charging up. I mean, FaZe should be thanking Royal 2 for that breakdown right there. In Pipes, he took down 2 players single-handedly with a couple plasma grenades, laying down all those shots over towards C-Plat and Stacks. Setting his teammates up for perfect position to push out, but not taken advantage of. Royal 2 literally killed 2 players, laid down so many shots, and no ball time whatsoever. He got shock rifle, but wasn't able to make use of it. And once again, the scrappy style of Sentinels paying off, grabbing a few seconds of time.
Still early lead for Sentinels here as Sparty trying to stay alive over toward the tower side. LethuL and Frosty end up spawning up. Some great shots coming out of Sparty here, and he's able to stay alive. Meanwhile, his teammates cleaning up those kills, but Ball still won the mid-map.
Yeah, ego challenge in there, not dropping whatsoever. And we're seeing a situation where FaZe had a 4-on-2, did not touch the ball. Now they had another 4-on-2, not gonna make that same mistake. They grab the ball, but are punished. Sparty gonna scrap up a little bit of time. No, decides just to play ball and get some slays. 1v1 against Renegade. Going in Renegade's favor. But while that ball was being played over at Hydro, new ball being scooped up by Sentinels near the pipes. FaZe decide to rotate a little bit faster this time.
Renegade ends up going down, but Sparty picks up a double kill. And is that 4 down for FaZe? Sentinels now have a big advantage here, and all of this time going down. You only have 55 seconds on the clock, and Sentinels are starting to grow their lead.
Yeah, so much back and forth slaying. Rule of thumb I used to use back in the day when we'd be playing a King of the Hill or an oddball is if the game at the halfway point is not progressing very fast, if very few points are being scrapped up, you need to put yourself in a scrappy mindset. You need to say, all right, let's get a couple seconds here and there. That's going to add up with the pace of this game. However, when there's lots of points being put up on the board, you don't go for those scrappy setups. You go for larger chunks of time. Let's see how it plays out here in these final moments, though. FaZe need to hold this for 20 seconds just to tie. The pressure's already being pushed from Glass. That's 2 down. Renegade with the ball. Pressure from both sides. He's going to try to play ball it. And Sentinels, they're going to welcome that. Sentinels either get the kill or they get more time off the clock. Spartan has the game in his hands here with Camo. I don't think he's going to be trying to scrap up time. He has so much time here we can bait out a kill. Spartan gets 1 kill here, and they just play defense here on this ball. FaZe haven't been aggressive on the ball when they have the advantage. How are they going to do it in neutral territory? Just like that, Spartan secures the crucial kill. This one's going to be so difficult for FaZe. They have no one in a position to touch this. Someone's going to have to desperately push on out. Who's it going to be? It's going to be LethuL. He's going to get picked right off. LethuL goes down. SnakeBite going to be the next victim. SnakeBite already down, and that's going to be round 1 going for Sentinels.
Sparty had a big responsibility to just zone out the enemy team and make sure nobody was able to touch that ball. And with the camouflage, it looked easy for Sparty and Sentinels. 1 round away from making it to the grand finals and taking out FaZe twice in the same tournament.
Looking at the kills. Overall, the kills basically even. I believe it's in favor of 1 for FaZe outside of that starting break from round 1. Just going to show that Sentinels more objective efficient for their slays. If Sentinels are able to go even in slays, they're going to go ahead and objective. Renegade and his Camo might have something else to say, though. End of the day, against one of the best teams in the world, if they're slain and they're on fire, there's not much you can do. Now, can they chain together a bunch of these kills? They got 2 down thus far. We're about to see 3. This is one of the first times we're seeing FaZe get multiple down and keep control. They find bubu in the corner. Gonna eventually hunt him down, but he's buying time. Now, how much time does FaZe get with this? Do they decide to just hold it in pipes? Do they decide to rotate it? Do they decide to play ball as soon as they reach some pressure? We'll find out here shortly.
Eventually, bubu does end up going down, and Frosty gets away with the shot. Body shot onto 1 Falcated. Goes in for the challenge, but Frosty can't quite find the hit, so he's going to be elusive back down. Ultimately play his life. Sparty was able to take down SnakeBite to grab a hold of that ball, and FaZe go 3 down. This is not good. Frosty has to make a play.
Yeah, FaZe with their full setup, getting about 20 points of time. Here, not exactly a full setup, but Sentinels already having that lead. Scrapping up 11 seconds, play ball on it, and saying, we don't want to put FaZe in position to get another full setup. Now they have the numbers advantage. Do they decide to go for it? They get Frosty down. LethuL also down. That's 3 down, and not a second goes by. In fact, they have 2 members ready to grab that ball. 1 to grab it down low. The other to toss up towards bat ledge. This team is so objectively aligned.
Sentinels really starting to win these team engagements when it matters most. They are so close to that ball, and they're hopping on it immediately. But as I say that, LethuL gets a double card out of nowhere. Bubu Dubu snatches up this camouflage, and nobody from FaZe was able to spot him. So Bubu Dubu definitely the player on Sentinels to watch out for. He's the one that has to break the setup of FaZe.
Bubu, low behind enemy lines, knows it's too good true. He knows that player is not just going to be there with the ball without having his back watch. Some pressure there over from bat ledge. Decides to deal with the threats first. FaZe with a great ball rotation. During that time where Bubu was helping get slaves over at batteries, FaZe, they scrap up 18 seconds and go for the play ball. No play ball though. 3 down. They know the spawns are over at elevator, and this is a great position for Sentinels. They have 2 options. They can play ball it near Hydra if they want, or they can go rotation through long haul. They opt for the rotation through long haul. If they're able to get this all the way towards glass and now rotate these members over control, they're in a prime position to scoop up more time. Hasn't been spotted out though, and the push gets spotted late here from Bubu and Sentinels. They didn't realize there's that many players over in control. Now he has to play ball and turn and fight he does. So many shots there at SnakeBite, a crucial one-on-one.
FaZe's lead was in danger, but it looks like they stopped Sentinels' reign of terror right as they were about to take it. Roll 2 over towards the mid-map, keeping LethuL out. You know, I think now is a perfect time to hop on board with the FaZe. Listen, and they're trying to hold on to that lead.
Last people, one more blue PJ after that. There's 20 glasses, 20
And
glasses.
glass coming.
He can't play, he can't play.
Sig box, Sean. Sig box, Sean.
I'm trying to
I know. I'm just telling you where they're
Box 15, careful. He's gonna be, I have your...
Another one, live. One hand in the corner.
Yo, Matt, 10 seconds camo.
Two split.
I got another one. Nice, 5 seconds camo.
Yo, I can bring ball blue. I got 3. I can bring ball blue. I will get camo.
I'm gonna block it, I'm gonna block it.
Camo, get this camo. Long haul. Bro, Matt, I'm fucking bringing ball blue.
I know. You
Yo, long haul. What's a long haul, red? Dead. Nice, Sean.
On grapple, all, on shock.
Triple E, Pat, PJ,
I'm gonna play for me.
Yeah, still triple.
I'm walking
Triple weak. He's still triple.
I'm walking through the I do not see triple.
20 glass, I want to triple.
Are you
And, dude, Xbox. Xbox glass.
Glass, dead.
Can we play?
Blue pipes, yeah, I'm gonna play him.
I'm here to play, bro.
Yeah, he's trip sec, PJ. Jumped up C-Plat, Play, guys. Huge play.
Another C-steps, 2.
Nice, huge.
Back blue on a second.
Yeah, weak, PJ. Hey, you want to play?
There's 2 more.
Top A.
I'm here. Another one on me, PJ. He's going into PR. Walking into PR.
I'll push him. He's on the elevator,
Nice,
absolutely.
no one BR, guys. BR going to you guys.
Bridge. Neither.
Don't die.
He's probably gonna rush you.
Yeah, he was turbine.
He's weak turbine still.
Looking at
He's going to you, John.
Half wall, John. One half wall. He's gonna die. PJ, you spawned out.
Neither.
Yo, kills, guys. Kills.
Neither bottom A.
Okay.
I'm at goal, guys. I'm at goal.
I don't see neither. Yo, red side, PJ. You have to play guy.
Half red source.
I gotta wait nades. I'm going now.
Yeah. Take your time. Matt, worry about yourself, so. Turn right.
Where's this guy? I kill red step.
Turn right, guys. He went red.
Turban.
Dead. Turn right, come here. He's fighting you, Matt. He went A. And bottom mid, Xbox.
Xbox and A.
Yeah, kill Xbox. They're A, guys. He's spawning A too.
I spawn blue.
Are you? Yo, top yard.
Nice.
Top yard weak. One in top yard. Absolutely.
Oh, check shot, guys. Check shot.
Top yard.
John, can you check
So
shot?
on me neither, guys. Out in the open, grapple. Shock is up, John. You can get it now. Trust. One turn pipe.
Get some time.
Shock is up.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of time.
Yo, make them come to you.
Okay, they could have a shock, guys.
They will.
Who's on? I'm gonna play.
Yo, John. Came on 20.
Nice shots,
Top right with shock.
Where's he going, Brett? Talk to me.
Still top right. I'm holding mid, John.
15.
Bubu, he's half. Yo, we want it top right. On the main, on the main.
Sparty blue tunnel.
Finally, Sentinels able to force FaZe to play that ball off the map, but look at the score line. It is a 66-39 lead still for FaZe as they're desperately trying to put their first round on the board. They are not trying to go down here.
FaZe clearly looking so much stronger here as this has been moving on, but even in a 2v2 situation, Sentinels are putting a few points up on the board. One thing that really stuck out to me during that listening was I don't hear FaZe really that chaotic in their callouts. They seemed panicked. They seemed stressed. They were calling out with emotion where players were at. They're usually a lot more calm, cool, and collected.
FaZe definitely feeling the pressure, and it's turning into energy that they might be feeding off of, but SnakeBite ends up going down, and now LethuL wants to take height. He has to be careful. There's 3 members of FaZe, and I'm not sure he knows it. Finds the one-shot world 2, somehow stays alive, and now he's gonna rotate this ball forward. What a play by LethuL.
Great play by LethuL, realizing that his teammates were clearing out another one elevator, they were gonna have temporary numbers advantage, and because of it, they're gonna go step in the elevator. This could be the moment. These next kills, as they stop over towards Turbine, is going to decide the game. And it looks like kills are being traded out. Looks like Falcated decides to rotate this ball all the way towards Hydro. And this is a spot they can wait and wait and wait until FaZe have enough firepower. He wants to get that lead 67 lead, and they do get the lead. Ball spawning towards batteries. Can anyone touch it from FaZe? Or is it gonna be a little stalemate? Are they going for slays? Bubu. Bird's eye view from that ledge. Knows players are at Turbine. And FaZe, they have to make a play, and they have to make it now. Royal 2 and Frosty, the last two alive that can potentially touch the ball. Frosty pushing over towards the batteries, gets a second. Royal 2 gets a second. Falcated in position to get the touch, and that brought it into overtime. We got another minute, Tony.
Got a bit of sudden death here as the tie is up. Falcated doing everything he can to stay alive, and it looks like Sentinels finding those kills. Sentinels now gonna rotate this ball over toward the gold side as they have the lead and FaZe go 3 down. Here comes the spawners. Royal 2 hit the black screen here. Sentinels are taking over.
How often do we see the game ball being dropped with 0 seconds left on the clock and tied? We're going to 1 minute that these players were not expecting. They were panicking for that last little play. And now only 10 points separating. This is totally feasible for FaZe still. They just need a couple slays and get that ball away. And getting caught off guard right there. Frosty gets taken down by Spartan. SnakeBite also dead. Sentinels playing the clock. They decide they just need the slays. They don't need to worry about the ball. Somehow Renegade sneaking away with the ball over at C stairs. Could this be a blunder here from Sentinels? They just assumed they had more map control than they did. Renegade doing such a strong job here, getting the ball all the way towards Hydro. And it is a battle in the back of Hydro. All 4 members of FaZe down. 2-point lead. Sentinels, they're not gonna touch that. They're just gonna guard that ball. And this is gonna be it, Tony.
This is game. FaZe go 4 down. Sparty chucks it off the map. It's Sentinels that are going to the grand finals.
Sentinels proving, not just in 1 series, but 2 series against FaZe, that they are the better team here at Salt Lake City. FaZe, with their lowest placement so far this year, should not hang their heads low, but you know they're a roster that was looking for a back-to-back-to-back win. Spartan deserving all the praise he's getting right now as they are working their way back up to the grand finals.
Sentinels not only able to conquer FaZe once in that winner's bracket, but twice to knock them out of the tournament. How crazy is that? And the funny thing, look at their faces. Look, where's the celebration? They know it's just another day in the office. They must know they still got to do it in the grand finals. They have an opportunity to become your champions here in Salt Lake City.
Sentinels just doing it all. I mean, look at their game history against FaZe here at Salt Lake City. They've won 6 out of 7 games. The 1 game they lost to FaZe, 50-49. Now that stat line is pretty deceiving considering the fact that we also saw Sentinels win a game 50-49. But many of those other rounds, Sentinels were so in control. You know FaZe are gonna go back to the drawing board. They're gonna watch these films. They're gonna say, what little things are Sentinels doing here that are catching us off guard? They're gonna work out those, come back and strong. They're gonna come back real strong in Fort Worth.
What a performance out of Sentinels, and you see the emotion on their face when Sparty got up at the end of that game and let everybody know about it. You gotta love that, but you also gotta do it in the grand finals because your work is not done yet. Why don't we send it over to Lottie at the desk and have them break down all of that action in your elimination finals.
Get closer between those two. That series was so insane, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, when you're looking at Sentinels, the fact that they're able to do that to FaZe twice, we talked about it, the mentality, you know, you're coming off a loss, they have their number. There is something about Sentinels that they have the leg up on FaZe right now, and for me, it's got to be efficiency.
Yeah, I think efficiency is the name of the game, and I mean, you can look at every single one of those map modes, but the Argyle CTF one where it felt like FaZe was continuously getting slays but couldn't get a flagpole, the difference with Sentinels is they get a flagpole with just 2 down, and then they find a way to keep it moving. They find a way to get those last 2 kills. In the oddball, they were scrappy. They kept getting the opportunity to play the ball, to deny some time. But, I mean, their rotations were perfect. Their control with the power-ups a lot of the time gave them some leeway there. And I think Sentinels show you that they are the real deal, that yesterday, this weekend has not been a fluke. They get it done twice, and that is the most impressive thing we've seen from them yet.
Yeah, I want to make it very clear that FaZe were good all weekend, but Sentinels were better. This wasn't the case of, oh, they happened to squeeze by and get lucky in a Slayer and win the series because of a Game 5. They made sure they got it done 3-0 and 3-1. That is as dominant a performance, as you're going to get. And we finally have an answer to the question of who let the dogs out, and the answer was FaZe, because Spartan the dog was running amok today.
Yeah, it certainly was. The cage was split wide open by Spartan the dog. You know, somebody who really honestly took me by surprise, not surprised I would say, but I thought performed so well was Falcated. I think Falcated had some huge moments in the games where it swung in the favor of Sentinels, and for me, there were moments in that obble I felt like Falcated won it for them.
Yeah, for me it was bubu dubu.
Okay.
I think he was like his KD ratio all weekend long, especially in that winners bracket finals, is 0.54. He rebounds unbelievable, a 1.01 with a ton of damage. He traditionally isn't up there with the Spartan the dogs in the damage. This time around he was a difference maker in the series, and what a rebound he had from that poor performance. It's not easy to do that, especially mentally as an individual. So he shows you that he's got the mindset of a champion and the mindset that he wants to be in this grand finals.
Yeah, something that stands out to me today as well, the way LethuL is playing, super confident, charging at players, taking 1v1 gunfights and winning them as well. Whereas in the past, we've seen him struggle a little bit when he was on that roster with the former Sentinels boys. But honest to God, the last year, I've not seen him lose a 1v1, it feels. Every time he gets into an engagement, he's coming out on top and he's making the right plays. So shout out to TJ for making it to another grand finals.
He was a difference maker, without question of a doubt. That was an incredible performance from every single player on that team. I think LethuL has been standing out all weekend long. I mean, he's getting some of the highest KD ratios on his team throughout every single series that they're playing against some of our biggest teams that we have in the HCS. Now the next question is, can they get it done against Space Station Gaming? It's going to be another rematch for them. It's a grand finals. It's going to be so difficult. They were bounced down to the elimination bracket by Space Station Gaming earlier on in the winners finals. Meet FaZe Clan, they get it done 3-1, and Jersey, they have quite the distance to go with 2 best-of-7s.